making a comic based around IP from Web3, and it's definitely cool to see. I know Shekinah's been working on this for a while, and she was able to bring in a lot of dope people from the community to help out with it. So super dope to see. Look at that, there she is. Got to pin some of this stuff up to the top. But Shekinah, how's it going?
It's going all right. All right. It's been a busy day. Would you believe, in the middle of doing a counseling session, I've also been on a few other spaces. So, and after this, I got a meeting about speaking at another law conference in DC. So, yeah,
And it's a mint day. You gotta love it. You just
it is a lot, but I did the mint last night, kind of opened it up last night, and I did it at the same time that I knew I would be going to Bible study, so I wouldn't have to think about it. So, and I have Bible study tonight as well. So I will be very excited to be going to Bible study, so I don't have to, have my mind thinking about this. So.
I love it though. Do you mind telling us a little bit about like how you started on this and what the inspiration was?
Yeah, no, definitely. I knew with, so we can talk about Project Akira. So this is before the clones, were released. But when I saw the art, I knew that I wanted to, I was like, okay, this is going to be, whichever one I get is going to be my Web3 identity. And I'm going to do something with the IP. Because I remember at that time, reading the terms and conditions and what they were going to allow, Artifact, what they were going to allow you to do with it. And I was like, I'm going to do something. And so a lot of it, just kind of taking that time to write. And when it came to inspiration, I was thinking a lot about, just Akira, which is one of my, it's a classic in anime, Ghost in the Shell, Psychopaths, goodness, there's quite a lot. And then just like movies as well. One of my biggest inspirations, which is, it's not the best movie, but it's a classic, Hackers from, I think, 94, 95 is when that one came out. I absolutely love that movie. I love War Games, which is from 1983. There's Tron, there's Johnny Mnemonic. I can't even say that right, but the one with Keanu Reeves before he did The Matrix. So yeah, just those types of movies and just that cyberpunk genre. I've always been, I don't know, just inspired and just I don't know, just I guess attracted to that genre and stories around computer hacking, because I certainly don't have the I don't know, the intellectual acumen or just that skill to understand that world of coding. But I admire it greatly. And so this was an opportunity for me to kind of like write something that would be, in that just in that genre. And when I picked the character Tatsu, which I did not mint the clone that I used, but I traded it, I think on the same day. If not the same day, it was like the next day, in December 2021 when that mint happened, or when we were able to get the reveal. So it's been with me since then, but it wasn't the one that I minted. And I knew that I wanted to make this character, like into myself. I'm a black belt in Shorin-ryu karate. I for years competed in different karate tournaments, and I also have a great love for martial arts. I have a ton of old kung fu films, even though I've never practiced kung fu. And so I wanted this character to kind of be a blend of all the things that I loved. I wanted this story to be, again, a blend of all the things that have inspired me over the years. And so that's where the genre and the story and the character came from.
I didn't know that you were a black belt. You've been hiding that one. That was a little alpha there. She will definitely sneak up on you. I could tell after meeting you a few times in person. You got some sauce over there. But sweet, I can see especially the '80s influence. There's a lot of that. Some of like the bit and like early stuff that you showed. It was really cool to see how you've been influenced by those. So when it comes to this group that you got together, that was the one thing that I was really impressed by was the amount of people you were able to kind of collab with. Do you mind going through some of the people that you worked with on this? Oh damn, there's too many people, huh?
Yeah, no. So there, no, no, no. So there's yeah, they're all asleep or working. So there's one guy that's in Japan. There's another that's in Australia. And then a couple that are in California. They have IRL daytime jobs and they're working. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm doing this. And my actual artist, um, his name's Kaio, and he's also working, has a daytime job, which is why we always communicated around like between 9 p.m. and midnight. Um, so yeah, so I'll start with Kaio. Kaio, his name's Kaio Oliveira Braga. His name's a lot longer, but I can't remember like all his names. He's of Latin descent, and they do all the names. And so he's the artist. It took about 6 months to find him, and so he's responsible for, yeah, just kind of taking my vision and taking my story and bringing it to life with the characters. It was very funny when I had to say, hey, I give him an NFT, send him like the image, a screenshot of an NFT, and say, okay, this is his character, like, and, translate this. And at some points, I would just send him the whole OpenSea page. It's like, look, like, this is what the characters look like, here it is, and he still doesn't really understand what it is. He knows I work in NFTs, but he still doesn't like understand it and doesn't seem to have any interest to want to move into the NFT market. Um, but one thing that we really gelled on was that it was very important for him to, he wants to work on projects where it's a diverse, multicultural, diverse cast. And so he was initially really, just kind of loved that it was a story with a character with a black, lead female character. Um, and then the rest of it is pretty diverse, as well, like the rest of the cast. And he's actually in it. I asked him, I said, well, I don't know, like I liked his name. So there's a character in there that's a hacker, which I don't even remember right now what the original name for this character was. But I was like, you know what? Like, draw you. Like, you can like put yourself as this character, and then you can draw it as you like to, and then I was like, I like your name. I'm gonna use it for the character. I think he thought I was joking until like he saw me. Like I was like, no, that's you. That I'm using that name. So that, I don't know, like it's goodness. We've been working together for I don't know, a year, and so probably like 6, 7 months. It's how long it's taken from the pencils to the from the original like sketch, and then he did pencils, and then he did ink, and then he did the coloring, and then we had a little trouble. Like I had trouble finding a letterer, and I had a letterer to do the lettering, so like the dialogue to do that portion, but I don't know, they overbooked themselves and couldn't, because we signed a contract. I had paid them, and they ended up sending the money back to me and just said, I am not like I overbooked. I can't do it. And I'm like, okay. And so I asked him, and he was like, yeah, I can letter it. He's like, it's not my forte, but like I can do it. And so he did it, and I think he did it excellent. I think he did an excellent job on the lettering for the dialogue. Um, so yeah, so that's Kaio. yeah, I found him on Facebook, between Facebook comic groups and Reddit comic groups. And so that's how I found him. I could not find anyone that at the time that I was looking. So what is this? Spring 22. Couldn't find anyone that was doing solid looking, just like manga type like art. So that's why I went outside of the space for that. And then what's the other thing? And yeah, so the other artists that contributed on the variant art, I mean, Von Soul, he contributed and did variant art for it. Who else? Ohio also did variant art. And then June Komatani, he's a Japanese artist. I originally had contacted Yuga because I wanted her to do a variant cover, but no, business is popping for Yuga, so she was quite busy and wasn't able to do it. And so she sent me a list of different just artists, in Japan that she knew, kind of as a referral. And I looked at that list. I looked at some of their art, and when I put it next to you guys, I was like, I just don't like, nah, this ain't gonna work. Like, nah. And so there's NFT Japan, which is an NFT community, and they frequently highlight emerging like artists with Japanese artists in the NFT space. And so I was looking on their timeline, and that's where I found June. And he does art. His art is typically, he calls it sports samurai. So he typically does a character in samurai type gear, playing like soccer or basketball or baseball or some type of just like sport. And so I contacted him and I asked him if he'd be willing to do it. And he was like, I don't know, but let's do a group chat. I need to invite a friend, who speaks good English and Japanese, just to make sure I'm understanding what you're asking for. And so he invited that friend who was also a calligrapher, a Japanese calligrapher. And she goes by the name Yu. I don't know her actual name because the contract that I had is under June. And so any subcontractors that he uses, I'm not responsible for. So I just know her by the name that she goes by, Yu. And so she did the translating in the DMs, and that was that was pretty cool. And yeah, and so he agreed, and he asked, hey, can she do the calligraphy? Because that's usually who he collaborates with. And I said, of course. And so like she contributed, as well. And they both were just really excited because anyone who worked on it they got to see a sneak peek of the full comic. So it's 45 pages, and I gave them access to look at it, and they got to see it. And that really got, a lot of them excited just to want to contribute. And I just wanted them to just kind of just be inspired. Be inspired by the story and the art, and kind of like take it where they wanted to take it. So yeah, and then the last guy would be he goes by Daz, DAZ, and he is a part of the Hoppers NFT community, and he was in one of the chat groups, ChainHoppers comic chat groups that I started, because he'd always been, I don't know, just always commenting on anything I posted. And I was posting the variants in there before I would tweet them out. And he was like, can I do one for the Hoppers? And I was like, yeah, sure. And like over, not this past weekend, but the weekend before that, it took him like 2 days, and he just crushed it and sent it. He's like, hey, here's the preview. And I was just like incredibly impressed, and was like, yeah, I have no problem saying it. That one is my favorite because I am a fan of the Hoppers NFT art. But I mean, he really went wild on it. And so, yeah, that's how I got them all. I just was looking through Twitter and contacted some folks, and they said, yeah. And that's how it happened. And they signed some contracts. So, yeah.
You had to make sure you got the contracts in there, do the proper legal thing, huh? But no, that's the power of Twitter for you. Don't be surprised. I think as the great Kuro God said, closed mouths don't get fed. And that man has a literal Mad Max mask on, and he gets fed very well. But hey, I saw Ninja had requested earlier, and I was gonna mention if you guys want to request, come up, ask some questions to Shekinah about this ChainHoppers comic, feel free to jump in. Also, if you wouldn't mind following Compounds Lead and retweeting the room, sharing the spaces, it's always dope to get some of these people highlighted because Shekinah and a lot of other people I see working hard out here in this space, doing a lot of different things, and so it's cool to see this idea finally come together. I remember a year ago when you were talking about like just taking breaks and writing storyboards and shit like that, and now it's the full year later and you got everything together. But I see we got Ninja on stage. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, family? What's up, Shekinah? So I
So,
actually don't know what kind of magic you or you two have going on, but I actually didn't request. I just all of a sudden was on stage, and it just happened again. So I don't know how that happened, but y'all got some magic going. It's the Chain Hoppers Tatsu magic going. But
for sure, for sure.
I'm
Okay.
curious to know, because I think it's important since uh and maybe I'm inappropriate, but have people minted this thing yet? Because I'm driving right now or about to drive, but I'm about to mint as soon as I get home. But have we minted? What are our numbers looking like? Because we want to make sure that we support our girl Shekinah.
It was at like 14 mint last time I looked at it, but I don't know what it's at now.
We got 24 people in the room. Okay, so
I don't look at it. We'll say that I'm not looking at it until I have to go and do something on the contract. So I don't look at it, is what I would say.
well, I'll show it for you because it's I know it's different. So, what's up, everyone? This is Ninja in the room with Cass hosting, Shekinah Glory in the house. This is CloneX, CS number 79, Chain Hypers comic. I have to say this comic is really dope. I love this. Oh, it has a glitch to it too. I'm looking at it. It's an open edition. Um, Starting on Tuesday, 2/21, and you will get a physical burn for claim the variants, which is super cool. If you would just consider at least retweeting, sharing the room, liking this space, putting a comment in the lower right, and if you so feel led, no pressure at all. Go ahead and mint this thing. I know that we need to support artists in the space, and Shekinah has been so generous with so much of her legal and just knowledge as far as who she is as a woman here, and also a leader, and also a lawyer, and also a creative, and also a artist, and also a poet, and also a writer, and just a whole bunch of things. So if you would just please support her as you feel led. Again, no pressure at all. That'd be wonderful. And I will be posting, getting mine once I get home, and also tweeting it. So just support our people, especially here in the bear market, because who knows what this might have in the future.
No, I certainly appreciate it, Ninja, because it certainly wasn't easy to do, and obviously what sets it apart is that it's finished. It's not something that I'm coming to the space with and saying, "Hey, mint this so I can do this," but it's actually a finished product, and I don't know. I think that's something that's important. And yeah, just to talk about some of just the goals that I have for it. It's not, it's just not turning it, to physical, but it's also getting it into comic book stores. We'll see if I decide to do like a Comic-Con, but as of right now, like that is certainly a goal, to get it into comic book stores, which is, I mean, that's not unattainable. It's actually a possibility because, I mean, it's a definite if I want to pay for it. It's certainly a definite because I do have those numbers on what it would cost to kind of get it into comic stores around the world. So I'll definitely, be looking at that and where I want to have it. I am gonna do, what is it, a 5-minute, kind of anime short, 3 to 5 minute anime short, and kind of submit that to film festivals, as well.
Alpha. Meow, meow,
Just
meow,
to,
meow,
again, just to
meow. Meow, 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 meow.
oh my gosh. So yeah, definitely, just the idea is I mean, the idea is to, to get it out there. I mean, it's a comic that features, goodness, NFT like native IP. And I think blockchain technology is something that could be very useful for independent comic creators. Like there's so much FUD right now. I mean, a vitriol type hatred toward NFTs in the comic community. But I think at some point they will recognize the gift that this tool can be. It certainly cuts out the middleman when it comes to publishers that want to take a hefty percentage, as well as like the IP, to kind of fatten their bags. So no, I'm excited to kind of be the first one out of the gate doing it and kind of taking that risk. And it was, I don't know, it's very intentional for me to make this character black, a black woman, and knowing that would kind of give it it would take a hit, in all honesty, when it would come to marketing it. But it was more important that I know that the substance of the story was good, and that the art was good, and that it should stand alone as a very good product, regardless of what the rest of the comic industry looks like when it comes to like success. Because your Black Panther, is
Hey,
your
I was waiting
Static
for you to say
Shock.
it.
I
I was
mean,
waiting for you to say it.
yeah, they're few and far between. And I don't even know why I'm mentioning Static Shock, because DC is trying to do a revamp of Static Shock, because he hasn't been around for quite a while. And I hope they're able to do a revamp, and I hope there is a movie, for that character as well. I mean, I guess I can mention Black Lightning, but I don't know how many people really talk about Black Lightning in that CW series. But yeah, so that was one thing that was incredibly important, for this character to be who she is. So yeah.
Question for you, Shekinah. You mentioned the animated short, and I personally love animated shorts. I think they're one of the most fun ways to tell a short story or any story, especially because you have so much imagination to use with animation to do literally whatever you want, you can think of, you can create. So I'm curious to know, maybe you can give us some insight as far as like, is it going to be 2D flash animation? Is it going to be 3D? Is made in Blender or made in another program? Like, what is your vision, like even down to the technicals behind this animation?
Yeah, it would be 2D, because I want to stick to just that traditional anime like look, and kind of give it that transformation from manga into anime. And then so that would be the number one reason. And then the number two reason, I'm going to be paying for this. So I'm not going to go out of pocket like crazy to do 3D. So yeah, depending on what the mint is, I'm going to be paying for that. So it's going to be, that's the second reason it's going to be 2D. And then when I was in Japan, I did talk with a couple. I did have meetings with a couple animation studios, and they're actually the first two to ever get like the hard copy, kind of print, of ChainHoppers. And so with one studio, I mean, yeah, like we were negotiating what I could pay for them to kind of get behind it, and to release it, and to put their work behind it. And then the other studio, was more so like, would you be willing to like license this? And with that one, their idea was like, we'd like to see some type of, community behind it. I mean, he actually even said like 50, and I was like, okay, that shouldn't be too hard. But like just some type of movement, just, it didn't have to be large, but just a little bit more momentum behind it. I think more so just wanting to see me put more work behind it. And so those connections, are there. I'm going to be going back to Japan, for Blockchain Week. And was it middle of June? middle of June into July, I will go back and continue to try to develop those relationships and see what can come out. Because for the 2D, I would more than likely be looking for a Japanese animator, so that I can kind of like dig into those networks and see what the possibilities are.
All right, I guess my man's question was answered. What up, y'all? What's going on? Congrats. It's Kuma here. Kuro, what's good, bro? Funny finding you over here. What's good? Nice to meet the rest of y'all. Cass, Ninja, all y'all for real. But yeah, no, I know I've kind of gone off in the DMs. I am in the Twitter group chat for ChainHoppers. Yo, I love it. I mean, obviously we haven't got to dig into it yet or read it, but just from what I've stumbled across, I think I've told you this. Like I met you in the update space, so like we were just all bullshitting in an update space. I think I just happened to follow you, checked your profile, seen that in your profile, and then clicked on it, and literally from there on, it was just that was it. Like I was sold from the jump. Like black main character, cyberpunk vibes, the whole, it was well drawn out, like the story, the site seemed like it was getting the message across. It seemed unique. The fact that it had NFT collection branded properties existing in the world, in the lore, like it's stuff that I think we've attempted to see done in this space, but it doesn't seem like it's done as well as what you have going on. So I mean, I definitely think people will follow through and fall into it, because I mean, if you're a fan of any of those facets of entertainment, the Japanese culture, street culture, Afro code, like I literally have an Afro samurai tattoo on my back. So like I ride or die the black main characters, like that's my shit. So as soon as I seen it and in an NFT comic, like I'm a huge comic fan and a big NFT dude. Like I've been here for 2 years or something. So like I am itching and scratching for more comic related NFT property. Like it's fucking insane. Kuro, don't shoot me down, bro. I know. You there too, bro. I know. But we need more, bro. We need more. We need Kuro. We need Shikaya. We need everybody to like. I need more comic stuff. But no, not to go into it. Shouts out to you. Shouts out to all the artists, the collab artists, everyone that's doing their thing. I'm glad to be on board, and I'm happy to be in the universe.
No, I appreciate it. No, you've certainly been one of my biggest fans. I mean, there have been a couple others that hit me up in the DMs, and it means a lot. Like everyone starts somewhere, and like I don't know, I for whatever reason, Stephen King is coming to mind for me, and I don't even know what his first book was, but like I know it took him time. I know it took him years to get to the status of where he is. Gosh, Frank Miller, like if we're gonna go into comics, I'm a huge fan of his, and what is it like? Let me pull it up. I got it right next to me actually. It's the complete Frank Miller Batman from like 19, I don't know, like 89. I think it was. Like that's the first comic I've ever that I ever read. And I remember reading it when I was in 4th grade and just loving it. And so yeah, like those people, they don't just start and all of a sudden kind of hit it. Because for those that know, I mean, the comic industry, has been and still is like incredibly gate kept. So even those that have had success, like they started somewhere and then finally like it hit, So I know this won't be the only comic that I do, because before I decided to write this one, I had already been writing like a short. What was it gonna be? Was it going to be a short film? Because I write them in screenplay format. That's how I write them, because I come from, I don't know, writing independent short films. And so that's the way I write stories. And there was another like shorter story that I had started writing before ChainHoppers. And I guess maybe I had the idea that I guess I did have the idea that it might be a short film. But since I had started writing ChainHoppers, I was like, no, this is going to be a comic. This is going to be a comic. And so that's one that I'm really excited to kind of dive back into probably towards the end of the year. But yeah, everyone starts somewhere. You got to, what do they say, crawl before you walk. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes from here, because the lawyer in me, you better believe, and I think I said it in other spaces. I mean, and in 2022, I had already filed, for the copyright, on the script. And I had the registration, for that. I had the registration, for the comic book cover, the original comic book cover, so like I own all of that art. Everyone was on a contract. So, it's all licensed to me. When it came, just, yeah, like I control 100 every bit of it. And that was important so that I could move as I like to move and try to make things happen. What else? Yeah, so trademarks were filed, copyrights were registered, and on the character's name, and certainly the title itself. So doing all the things I would advise any of my clients to do, to protect their IP, because you never know where an opportunity will come from to license that IP. Maybe, I don't know, maybe one day I get connected with someone, I don't know, a publisher in Africa. I have no idea. I haven't even sought that out yet. It could be big in some other country, maybe not in the US. So there's a lot of opportunity, and I'm excited to kind of do the work and dig into that.
Yeah, no, I was excited to be here. Was excited to hear there was a space coming. I'm literally like in the cut at work because I wasn't missing this shit. So I ain't trying to like come up and gas and then run. I swear to God, I'm not here to pump. I'm actually,
don't get fired. You good.
I'm definitely a fan. She told y'all, she ain't lying. But no, I appreciate y'all having me up. I appreciate you answering some questions, and yeah, no, just keep doing what you're doing, because I love the vibes. So good to meet all y'all. Thanks for having me up and letting me ask y'all some shit.
I appreciate you coming through, man. And you already knew Kuro Comics, so that's obviously a good sign. Kuro, what's going on, bro?
I don't know.
Huh?
Oh, he in the space. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought this might have been your clone in the space, and you was like in another space.
No. I wouldn't do that. I'm just transferring something so I can mint. Yeah, I've been messing with these Bitcoin ordinals, and it's not a very good investment because I don't know what I'm doing. I just keep minting stuff, and there's no purpose to it. Pardon?
So you buying some fire art over there? They got some fire art on the ordinal?
No, there's no fire art there, bro. There are
Yeah,
a
I know.
couple pieces. Like there's that's a joke. There's some wispy art, but that doesn't really matter right now. Yeah, absolutely beautiful execution. Yeah, I've gone over it quite a few times. I absolutely love some of the coloring that you've had done and how it sets the tone. It's just brilliant. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I sent Kuro like access to the comic, and he replied that, I don't know, in his replies he thought it was great, and then he was like, I took a screenshot. I'm like, took a screenshot of what? Like, I'm like, Lord. So yeah. But no, can we invite Shaka up? I don't know, like if he's, I don't know if he's occupied or not, but like throw him a request, because he is. I mean, it's funny that I call it ChainHoppers. It's not in relation to the Hoppers collection. It's in relation to my love for. I mean, I'm not fudding the space, but tracking. I don't do this anymore. This is my former job before being a lawyer, but tracking. Basically crime and like money laundering across blockchains. And that's what chain hopping is. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the contents of the story, but I just like that name. But that's what chain hopping is. It's when someone is like stealing, like I don't know, okay, you did an exploit or you stole some crypto and you're trying to hide it. So you kind of move the crypto from chain to chain to kind of to kind of hide, like what you've done and kind of hide your trail as best you can. That is technically what chain hopping is. I don't think anyone has ever been classified as a chain hopper. I could say that's something that I've that I've quote unquote invented or came up with, but the name is derived from my love for investigating the crazy stuff on the blockchain. So.
Well, hey, I definitely love the Hoppers group as well, and I love that you were able to work with Shaka because he's a hella talented artist. I also saw Nameless lurking in here. I was hoping we could get him up as well. So Shaka and Name, since you guys both were able to work on this, I would love to have you guys up. But
you can throw Name like a request. He may not like come up because he told me he was at work.
He's just lying
as well. He's like, I'll be listening.
Grill him about his music because this man is so secretive, and I thought like there was some other secretive artists in this world, but nah, he really like Fort Knox over there with his hard drives.
No, he's certainly amazing, and that was the idea. Like I don't know, like I love music. When I'm writing, I primarily write to hip hop. What else? Yeah, jazz or like some type of like, I guess like dubstep maybe. I don't know if you call some of these marshmallow, like that type of music. Like that's what gets me moving. And so it was very important that I had like a kind of a companion soundtrack to this. And so I'm excited about like, I'm excited for what he's already sent me to listen to. And I'm excited for just like what he's going to wrap up. And hopefully, the idea as I move out into the world, I mean, the idea, if you've given me something and you've helped me out like on this and you contributed art, like, yeah, like I'm gonna like, yeah, if it sells out, on shelves, I'm gonna have it come out with a companion CD. And yes, I thought about cassette tape, but I'm like, nah, CD might be better than cassette tape. And then, obviously a digital version, but yeah, like I don't know. I like companion pieces. I like soundtracks coming with art. It kind of makes me think of like Spider-Man Into the Multiverse. I loved that soundtrack. So that's what Name is working on. And I'm excited for more people to listen to the talent that he is. So yeah, Shaka is up here and Shaka, oh my gosh, he is one of my favorite artists. I tell him that all the time. I know he knows it because I wanted to represent him so bad. And then finally, I don't even know, a year or two ago, he finally came into my DMs and needed my help. And I was so happy because I love what this man does. And I love the Hopper character. So Shaka Blood. There you go.
Quit gassing me up. Come on, Chicana. I'm bummed out I couldn't do my actual work or like actually collaborate you on this drop, but it's a little bit of a bad time for me. But I promise I would obviously, since that IP is like kind of mixed in with you and everything like that, so I would love to actually like dip my pen into it. So, but yeah, I'm it's hilarious. I'm just hanging out here with a bunch of colorful PFBs, and I'm like the only bland one just plastered at the top.
Hey, we like the Aves. It's all good, and your art stands much past your PFV. So
yeah, I switch my ape on when I have to like strategically plan myself into Twitter Spaces. Not this one specifically. I had to change it, but yesterday I did one where I was like, maybe I should just rock an ape for a little bit, But
yeah, no, I mean I don't know, and I'm gonna say this. So Shaka, you got to correct me. Am I right? No, maybe not. Like, I don't know. I feel like you were one of the first, when it comes to NFTs that was doing like 3D art. Between you and like Kid 8, I would say we're probably like the top two. And maybe Smiles isn't in here, but I think he probably was maybe the first project. And so, yeah, when it comes to hoppers, I mean, and Shaka knows, I tell him this all the time. I'm like, Shaka, when I got time, like, bro, like, we gonna do something like with your IP, because I think the hoppers is one collection that has so much potential. It just needs like the right business connects. But no, just certainly a fan and look forward to doing something, in the future, because yeah, like the hoppers
Absolutely.
go crazy.
Literally 3D gang all day for sure. I mean, you guys all rocking CloneX, you understand? Like, yeah, 3D usually doesn't get that much love in this space. CloneX is a bad example because that's like saying like when projects compare themselves to like a Bored Ape or other really big projects, right? But 3D by itself, man, if you're like a 3D project that pops up, it's like people just look at you like with a weird like ugh. And I'm like, dude, the fuck you doing? Like, I don't know. That it's definitely been against the grain when I'm trying to like promote stuff and people don't know anything about through a 3D project. They're like, oh man, you probably got that shit off like Fiverr or something. And then they gotta get to know me a little bit, and they're like, all right, this dude's legitimate, But yeah, Shekinah, thank you so much, man. I those days were the best. It was just like 3D shit, bunch of super rare one of one artists. PFPs were popping up a ton. Like those are the glory days.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going. I don't know where we're going from here. I'm not going to mention, but I guess I will slightly mention the whole Tapper Labs. I mean, we'll probably talk about it on Bad Take tonight, but it'll be interesting to see where we go from here as the space matures and we hopefully get some more clarity on what we're doing and what's legal and what's not deemed to be legal. But now I want to point out Von Soul. I mean, I guess if you can throw him down a request too. I don't know if he's working or if he's busy, so we'll see if he accepts it or not. But no, I mean, yeah, like I definitely love his artwork and wanted him to give me some blue vibes and do a dragon. So I don't know if he's not answering or not, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess I'll go into what he's done, like his art.
I was gonna say, let's see if
The Von
Dre's been
Soul.
up here for a second. I'll see if Dre's got a question, and
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
Soul will be able to jump in.
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, let's see if Trey got a question.
No, no, don't mind me, guys. I'm just here for support. Don't mind me at all. No bother. No, Shekinah, it's dope, man. I just want to congratulate you again. You are leading the way, creating a path for a lot of things that people are interested in that haven't taken the steps themselves. And to see someone else in the same community do it, it gives us this gas and this inspiration. So I just want to say thank you for that. And want to make sure that I communicate that to you as well, because sometimes it gets caught up in the mix when you're so busy doing your own thing that you don't see how far you've gone and how much you're actually doing. So this is outrageously dope. And thank you for the inspiration. And I had a question as far as your journey was concerned. With this being a comic that's being done on the blockchain, I see that or I would assume that you've learned so much about this process, and I'm interested to hear it from your perspective, how the journey has been, just specifically getting this to life and putting it on a blockchain and having a comic like this with this integrated with this technology. I'm very interested to hear your perspective on it.
Yeah, I laugh because I mean a lot of it has been calling me. I've been calling Shaka and have been texting Shaka for help with Manifold. So I decided to use Manifold because I think, as some of us may know, getting someone to hiring a smart contract developer and someone to do a whole like beautiful looking website costs quite a bit of money. And that just wasn't something that, yeah, I could afford it, but bro, if this doesn't do good, I can't take that type of hit, you know? So I decided to use Manifold and use their technologies to do an open edition. It seemed to be certainly the easiest thing to do. If I wasn't using Manifold, I guess I probably would have used Foundation to do it, or I guess some type of, or I guess like OpenSea or something. But yeah, so I used Manifold, and Shaka walked me through it because I was like, Shaka, I don't even have the brain power right now. Like I've like lawyer stuff to do. I don't have time to sit and try to learn this thing. But no, I just took some time out and kind of opened up the platform, because Von Sol also said, he was like, no, it's super easy. Like it's truly a no code solution where you can just like, you're just plugging, you're picking, you're checking, you're uploading like the art. It's all you need to do, and kind of just follow the steps that it lays out, and it does the hard part for you. And so, yeah, that's basically like what I've done. And again, Shaka has been a great support. And I was like, I want to make sure I don't do anything wrong, because you see a lot of, even the biggest projects that certainly have the money, and like there's an issue that happens with the smart contract. And I wouldn't have, oh my gosh, I can't imagine being in that type of like situation, especially since I've been telling you guys, like I'm trying to plan somewhere to go every night, so that I do step away, and I'm not watching, like the Mint page. I don't want to fall into that, because I've been around creators, like by representing them, and I've seen the stress. And that Mint day and Mint week and such really takes, that they kind of take on. And yeah, I want to manage it the best I can, and not, yeah, and not, I don't know, like not let it wreck me. Or I want to sleep at night, and I've been able to sleep at night as long as I'm not on bad take, for too long. I'm able to sleep at night. But yeah, I would say Manifold smart contract. That was the process. It made it very, very easy, and so much. Yeah, just really easy. So yeah, it makes me want to do it again, but no, not anytime soon. And yeah, and that's what I would say.
I was gonna say, yeah, launching your own stuff will definitely give you more respect for what people are going through, all the way from you heard it from Shekinah. She went through the whole process of making sure all the art is technically owned by her, and not only designing all the art, hiring all these artists, and then launching everything on the end. So it's why it's hats off to you to being able to do that all with full-time job and working with every other crazy brand in this space.
Yeah, I mean, hold on a second. I do want to say this. Like, I hired the one artist to do all that work. The other guys were gracious enough to do it for free. And with that, and again with what they have put out, I take some ownership, not ownership, but I do take upon myself some pressure of wanting to see their work and their effort put out into the world, and get some eyes on what they've done, whether it's here within our NFT world or within the comic world. And like I said, certainly with name, I want to make sure that whatever future projects I do that come from ChainHoppers, I will most certainly be using, like, yeah, the music that he makes, because yeah, like I want you to get jobs from this. I want to be able to recommend, these artists, as well as, everyone that I've worked with, to others, and make sure that they get some kind of, bag, from this, and exposure, too. So I'm certainly thankful for those that, yes, we will hop on, we'll give our time and our talent and effort, and make it happen. And don't think I wasn't critical or said, hey, go back and fix this, because I did. And they did not take any visible or notable offense to it. They corrected it, or they adjusted, and I appreciate it. I'm thankful for it.
Well, Shekinah, I know you said you can only be on for an hour. You got a lot of stuff going on today. Are you able to stay on longer?
I can do like maybe up until 4:05, but no, literally, I'm going to. I guess I'll be representing the clones once again. With the American Bar Association does a big, every year in the spring, they have their annual spring conference, and it's going to be in DC, and they've invited me to speak on fashion and IP. And so there will be other lawyers on there, but obviously I will have the most experience when it comes to that with Web3. And so, yeah, we have a mandatory meetup call. So I don't mind being 5 minutes late, but I got to be on that call because I'm proud to be on that stage. So, but go ahead if there's any more questions or, yeah.
Dre, looks like you were about to say something.
I was about to say get Ice Ape out of here because he's here for corruption.
Yeah, man, I had that gut feeling for a second there, but we ain't gonna let these distractions happen.
Guys, I'm gonna hop off because I have to jump to another space at 4. But Shekinah, good luck. Call me tonight so I can help. Peace out, everyone. Have a good day.
I appreciate you pulling up, Shaka.
You need to delete whatever is up in the top there.
Oh man, people slick tagging or.
I told you he's here
Oh,
for
good
corruption,
Lord.
bro.
I have all these people blocked.
Good Lord. Yeah, so don't check the pins at this moment in time, but please do later on so you can check out some of the great work that she kind of has put together with some amazing clones cooking. I hope you got some less corruptive vibes for us or some questions for Shekinah before we have to jump out.
I'm just going to straight shill the comic cast because she kind of been working on it for months. 0.04 ETH for a 45-page comic. That is unreal if you think about the amount of art and time and effort that it actually takes to craft a story and put it on paper and ink it and color it. Like, that is crazy. I've only done like 2 drawings, bro. And those took me like so long. So it's mad props, and it's like, at this respectable mint price, it is an awesome opportunity for anyone really to have access to this drop that Shekinah's put out there to support a fellow clone. And I think that it's a responsibly selected price that is very community forward and very inviting. And I think it's a nice opportunity, and I would encourage people to at least consider it, just to be direct, because Shekinah is about as OG in this space as any clone can be, especially when you just look at like the roller coaster of a ride over the last 14 months or whatever it's been, even before that, like she's been in this space. And I think this is a nice way to really highlight her. And Cass, I very much so appreciated that you put the space on to highlight what she's been working on, man. It's epic. So I wanted just to jump up, throw some pump vibes at it, and thank you too for hosting.
I mean, like you said, Shekinah's been doing this for a long time, but she was about to say something, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just want to say, no, I definitely appreciate that, Jack, because it's number one, it was never going to be free because there's been a lot of time and money, spent, to bring this to fruition. And yeah, like anything that I'm going to put out is going to be with excellence. I'm not gonna, it's gonna be put out with integrity. This isn't for flipping, this is straight art. And it's for the love of storytelling. It's for, it has its historical value, as well, because I don't know. I mean, you go and find, and I'm going to just say it, you go and find another Black woman that has my resume, that is doing something like this. And like Dre Millie said, put it on the blockchain. That is a part of the point. That is the point, is for it to be not only an example to independent comic creators to bring your ass into the space and stop fudding it, but it's also, hey, I want to do something. I want to kind of set that pace, for those that are coming up behind me. Like that is a part of the purpose. And watch how I'm moving, and watch the blueprint. Like I said, despite being an active lawyer, I'm going to do what I can to see something come from it. I just didn't put my money behind this just to see it just for fun, because it's not, it means a lot more than that. And so yeah, and honestly, I if I have to say it, I will say it. This money does not come back to me that I'm making. It goes toward the physical production, because it's the comic book that's finished, so the digital piece of it is complete. And so those that do mint will get it this weekend. That's just going to happen because I don't have time. I'm not playing with, what is it, like trading or any of that. Like, no, you paid for this, you're going to get it. And so, sorry that it's not immediate, but this weekend, I think you can wait the weekend to get the digital version. And so that's going to happen. And then once I kind of tally the amount of people that do mint, and then I will inform me how much I need to get for the actual physical, and what that cost is going to be. So yeah, like there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like my name's going to stay clean in anything that I'm releasing. So yeah, like Cookin said, it's literally 0.04, which I mean, I feel like that's cheap for the things that are in this space. But the product is not cheap at all. It isn't. And it's not going to be cheaply produced physically either. So, and I'll see some of y'all on Bad Take. I will, after Bible study, I will log on to Bad Take for a little bit.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you were able to stop by and tell us about this, because it's definitely really cool to see. It's very full circle, I feel like, for some of the OG people who've been watching you in the space. And I'm excited to see where you take it, and you'll probably do amazing things with this. That's for sure. You fearless. We're gonna have to get more spaces out of you about networking and building with IP, because you're probably one of the best at it from what I've seen. To kind of, we usually we let the important people in the room have the last word. So do you want to leave us with any little final parting words before we jump off?
Build your own IP. I think I say this. I mean, Compound knows I preach this every single time. Build your own IP. Take the risk. It may feel scary, but just go out and do it. You got to start from somewhere, because you never know where you're going to end up. So create. That's my last word. Create. And you've seen it. Everyone's already said mint it. So I guess I'll repeat myself there. But above all, create.
And go read that ChainHoppers. You gotta go check it out. Come on, y'all. Support the clones. It's our girl Shekinah up in here.